What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow back with the Boxing Clinic Late Night Grind. If you haven't checked it out, check out the pound for pound updated list I just did. You might like it. Shout out to everybody out here doing it. And Pulev, Brosworth Pulev, that's what I call him. He just hurt Anthony Joshua in the worst way. He just stuck it to Anthony Joshua. Oh man, I'm loving it. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the boxing guys, man. Won't they do it, man? They will, man. And what I'm talking about is, Pulev released a nice, lengthy, little interview post on Facebook. Just search his Facebook name and translate it if you don't speak Mongolian. And basically he said that they've been, basically he's been forced into the October 28th date versus Anthony Joshua. They just trying to plug him in. They trying to fit a square plug and a square plug into a round, fitting. And he said he ain't had that shit, man. He said he will not be forced into fighting Anthony Joshua. And he says that his promoter Zaylee Sutherland or whatever it is, and his manager, they ain't even been on speaking terms, man. From I'm understanding, he ain't in no type of fighting shape. He fought last May 28th, I believe it was, versus Kevin Johnson. I'm hearing that he been doing chess tournaments. He ain't been training. He must have really had a disconnect between his promoter Sutherland. I think that's the guy who's running the World Boxing Super Series with Richard Schaefer. They must have had a disconnect with them. And if you got a disconnect with your manager and your promoter, it must be trill. You know what I'm saying? And his promoter might be mandated. Or might be his manager might be, mandated from the promoter side. Like Top Rank really pushes all their fighters to go towards the Cameron Duncan route. That's like their Al Heyman, their promotional company. So he might be one of those situations where Sutherland and his manager, whoever it is, they might be a close working team, but whoever has a disconnect from them altogether. He said they have talked about the fight, but nothing concrete. Nothing concrete at all about this fight. He says he's in no shape. He says, 3 to 4 months minimum for him to whip into shape. And it's the end of August, so he would need September, October, November. If he needs the full 4 of December, he can't fight till January. And from what I'm understanding is Anthony Joshua has been training, hard for this date. He took a little trip to Dubai. Now he's back in the gym, hitting the pads, getting ready for this fight. And he just knew, Brosworth Pulev was going to be ready for this fight. And he's definitely not ready, for this fight. He said this is not a Republic World Championship. Y'all don't even know what that is. He says it's not a Republican World Champion. This is the championship of the world. And I want us to be, physically and mentally healthy. And in the interview, he said, you're not mentally healthy. He said, I'm very mentally healthy. He basically said, physically, he's not able to do that. So, what will Anthony Joshua do? Now Vladimir Klitschko done fucked him with no Vaseline, a parting gift, and now Brosworth Pulev is, fucking him again with no Vaseline. And this time it's significantly deeper. No homo. And now he has nowhere to hide. He has no IBF mandatory now because Pulev isn't ready. And it's funny to me how Pulev had to know where he stood in the IBF ranking. And he had to know something, in the last few months. He had to know he was the backup plan since Joshua and Klitschko fought back in May. So he done had June, July, August, 3 months right there. September, that would have been his 4th month. And then the end of October, he would have had almost 5 months to get ready for this fight. Just me personally, I don't think he wanted to fight. I don't think he wants to fight Anthony Joshua for the IBF belt. A guy that knows he about to get that type of payday, man, who not about to be ready? You about to make $1 million at least. You know where you stood. Even without your promoter saying nothing. You knew you was the mandatory. And that just sounds fishy to me. It sounds like Luis Ortiz, got the boxing guys on his side. And Anthony Joshua going to have to square with Luis Ortiz. Now, let's enter that part of it. Now, if he drops that WBA belt now, without having a mandatory and Brosworth Pulev, will the UK fans still defend him? Absolutely, they will. They'll find a way to defend this man. And this man not even facing. He's not even facing like an Earl Spence type of guy, or Matisse in his prime type of guy. When people saying Danny was scared of Matisse, or Canelo with Triple G, where people saying Triple G is the most feared badass guy on the planet. He's facing a 38-year-old Cuban one-handed fighter who had 2 subpar performances and coming off a long layoff due to a hand injury, I believe. If that doesn't, if you're not gonna catch him you're not gonna catch Ortiz at a better time than what Anthony Joshua could potentially catch him right now at. And if he drops that WBA belt out of fear of fighting Ortiz and goes and fight some other domestic UK bum, Euro bum, and drops that WBA title and just says, "Oh, I'm gonna defend the IBF title," he's a straight bitch. And if I wouldn't put that out the realm of possibility, but I have more respect for Eddie Hearn's Anthony Joshua right now than that. And I think Anthony Joshua will go ahead and do the right thing and fight Luis Ortiz and just get it out the way, man. Stop acting like a little bitch. Go ahead and fight him. You lose, you lose. If UK fans still gonna like you, still gonna love you. This ain't America where you lose and they just jump off your bandwagon and say fuck you and light the bitch on fire. This ain't that. You got a loyal fan base. And you almost lost to Klitschko if Klitschko would have moved his hands in that three round period, but he didn't. The boxing guys was on your side. Now the boxing guys is on Luis Ortiz's side. So it's like a little kid going to take a shot. Oh, I don't want to take a shot, mommy, daddy. I don't want to take a shot. Go ahead and take your medicine. Take a shot. If you win, you're on top of the world. It's more A-side power against Deontay Wilder now. You can do what you want. You can buy yourself some more time. People are like, oh, you just fought Ortiz. You know what I mean? You're going to do what you want. The Wilder fight to come around when it come around. Buy yourself some more moving, more wiggle room. And if Pulev come back for a mandatory fight, you say fuck him too. Because he's in cahoots with everybody else to play you and make you look like a pussy. But I'm glad this dude Pulev is not in physical health. That's on him. He's a dumbass. He knew he was the number 1 mandatory. He knew he was Joshua's backup plan. Maybe Klitschko fooled him too. But it is what it is, man. I want to see what Joshua gonna do now. Eddie Hearn about to watch him. He might be on suicide watch because there's something about that boy they don't trust. And I think it might be the stamina fans talking about with the Klitschko fight. It might be his chin from the Klitschko fight. It's something they don't like about it. That's something they scared about, protecting that boy. Somebody that you ain't protecting, you let off the leash and fight whoever. Especially in this weak-ass heavyweight division. When you nitpicking and choosing fighters, in this weak-ass division, and not fighting the best, you terrible. But we gone.